Okay, all right. Let's get to the business of today. Last class we talked about the introductory aspect of candlesticks, and I told you about the opening, the close, the high, the low, and the body of a candlestick. I said these are the things that makes up a candlesticks, and I also said that candlestick is representation of what is going on among the buyers and sellers in the market. Is the representation of what is going on among the buyers and sellers in the market, and candlestick also help us to know when to get in the market and when to get out in the market. So we have different types of candlesticks. Can we all hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So we have different types of candlesticks. We have a single pattern candlestick, which means that a formation of just one candlestick. We have double pattern candlestick and we have triple pattern candlestick. What this means is that there are some candlestick, they are just one and it tells us something in the market. And there are another candlestick which is a combination of two candlesticks, which also tells us things in the market. And we also have the last one, which is the formation, the combination of three different candlesticks, which are still telling us what to do in the market. So in our subsequent classes, we'll also be looking at this candlestick one after the other. I'm going to tell you about them. We also look at how they place out in the chart, and also I'll be giving you assignments as well. Okay, so to start with, okay, Mr. Moses, do you have question?
I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen. uh Sorry, Mr. Temitope, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Can you see my screen?
yeah. I can see.
Mr. Moses, try to check your
I can
network
see it now.
connection.
I can
You can see it now.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking Mr. Moses, can you see it now? If you can't still
Okay.
see it, just try to refresh your network.
No, I can see it now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now these that I have on my chart, which are green and red, looks like maybe music stuff, but it's not music. These are called candlestick. It's called candlestick. So I've actually talked about this before, but for the sake of the person that is just joining us, you can, I'm sure you would have been set previous classes to watch. Then when you have question, you can now ask your question. So now we want to look at candlestick of single pattern candlestick. So we are going to start with a candlestick called the Marabuzo candle. So I want you as well to be taking notes, have your jotter with you, have a colored pen. So whatsoever that I'm doing, I want you to be replicating the same thing on your notebook. So under Marabuzo candlestick, we have a bullish Marabuzo, and then we also have the bearish Marabuzo candle. We have the bullish Marabuzo and we also have the bearish Marabuzo. So I'm going to be showing you how this candlestick looks like, what they are, and how we can take opportunity on them when we see them on our price charts. So this candlestick, we have the bullish like this. I'm going to be representing the bullish candlestick with green color, and then we have the bearish in red color. You can actually customize this on your own charts as to whatsoever color you prefer. So now this is the bullish Marabozo in green, and this is the bearish Marabozo in red. This candlestick has no wick at the top and at the bottom. Remember last class I told us that candlestick sometimes have wicks like this, but for the case of Marabozo candlestick, a Marabozo candlestick does not have a wick. And if at all a Marabozo candlestick is going to have a wick, the wicks are usually very small, like something like this, and sometimes they might have no wicks at the bottom. So it can look like this. You can see that the wicks at the top is very small. The wicks at the top is very small. So it can look like this, or it has no wicks at all. Why does a Marabozo candlestick has no wicks? I told us last class that the reason why a candlestick will create a wick is because there is pressure from the opposite. So now this is a bullish candlestick, which tells us that buyers are in the market. I told you that bullish is relating to the buyers. So when you have a green candle, tells us that buyers are in the market. But how strong are the buyers? This bullish Marabozo make us understand that there are strong buyers in the market because there is no wicks. This candlestick opens at the bottom here, just like I explained last class. It opens here, that is O for open. When this candlestick opens, there were no pressure from seller to push the market down. So if there were pressure from seller to have pushed the market down before the market went up, we are going to have a wick at the bottom. But for this case, when the market opens, when that candlestick opens, it just went straight up, meaning that buyers were dominating. Buyers were dominating. There was no room for sellers to come into the market. There were no room for sellers to come in to the market. And the buyers push it up and then closes at the top. If there were to be a wick at the top, it means that buyers push it up to this high before seller push it back down and the candlestick closes. But here there were no pressure from the sellers at all. It was a total defeat, a total domination by the buyers. It opens here and then closes at the top. So for a Marabozo candlestick, if you want to determine the high and the low, this is the body, that is the body B. The full shaded parts in green is the body. The high and low now, this is the low. Where the candlestick open is the low and where it closes is the high. Why do we use this point? Is because there is no wick. The candlestick has no wick. Adding being it has a wick like this is where we are going to use as the low. But the candlestick does not have a wick. So definitely where it opens is where we have the low, because that is the lowest point that candlestick ever get to. That is the lowest point it ever get to. And this point that it closes, that is the highest point the candlestick ever gets to. So this is our high and this is our low. So what this candlestick tells us is that there are strong buyers in the markets. Buyers are strong in the market. So when we see this kind of candlestick, what we want to do is to take a buy opportunity. This candlestick make us understand that buyers are in the market. I told you earlier that it is a way the market communicates to us. Candlestick, the market communicates to us as to what is going on in the market. So when we get this, the information we receive is that buyers are in the market, and what we want to do is to join the buyers, because these are people that are present in the market. So, and we've gotten information, then we have to join them when the candlestick close. When the candlestick close. If a candlestick is yet to close, you cannot call it any name. You cannot call it any name if a candlestick is yet to close. Candlestick need to close before you know the type of candlestick it formed. Okay, so when this candlestick close like this, we now get the information that this is a bullish marabozo, which tells us that buyers are in the market. Are you with me?
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
getting.
So now, another way that we can have the marabozo candlestick is that it may have a wicks. Actually, naturally, this is how we are going to have a marabozo candlestick: a shaving top and a shaving bottom, no wick at all. But there are times whereby the market can present a marabozo that has a wicks, but this wick is going to be very small. In fact, sometimes for us to see the wicks, we need to zoom in on our charts before we see the wicks. We will need to zoom in on our chart before we see the wicks. So we can have it like this, and it has no wicks at the bottom. This is still a marabozo candlestick. You can also have the wicks let me make it tiny so you won't think the wicks are very obvious. So you can also have it like this. You can see that it has a very tiny wicks. It is still categorized under the marabozo pattern, marabozo candlestick. And also, because I've drawn this marabozo candlestick to have a bigger body size, does not mean that all marabozo candlestick will have a bigger body size. There are times whereby you are going to have the marabozo candlestick to be small. If you have it this way, this is still telling us that there are buyers in the market, just that they are not so much compared to when we have something like this. When we see this, we know the information that we receive tells us that buyers are dominating. But because the body size is small, it tells us that the volume of buyers, they are not much. But when we have this, we know that buyers are in the market, and there are plenty in the market. Do you get the idea? That is for the bullish marabozo. So the bearish marabozo is the opposite of bullish. This one is telling us that sellers are in the market. And same way, you can also have this having a wick at the top. Always remember that the wicks will be very small. Very small. I'm going to be showing you example on the charts. We are going to be looking at different markets to look at the charts. And also, you can also have it in a small body. So this is still telling us that sellers are in the market, that we have sellers in the market. So when you have a Marabozo candlestick, it's telling you if it is a bullish, if it is in green color, it's telling you that buyers are in the market. If it is a bearish color, which is red, it's telling you that there are sellers in the market. You know, and I also said that color, you can customize color to your taste. You can change the color. There's a way you modify from this website, software rather. You can modify your chart. If you don't like the green and the red, you can modify it to whatsoever color you prefer. You just want to know the candlestick that is telling you bullish and know the candlestick that is telling you bearish. Okay, so now let's go on the charts, and all of these candlesticks we'll be looking at, they meant the same thing on all markets. If you have a bullish Marabozo in the crypto market, it tells us that buyers are in the market. If you also have this candlestick on the Forex charts, it's still telling us the same thing, that buyers are in the market. If you also see this in the commodity market, it's still telling us the same thing. So all the candlestick we'll be looking at, they are telling us the same thing in different markets. We can apply that same concept on different markets. So now let's go to the chart. This is a crypto chart. This is a coin Cardano. So we want to look at the previous point where we have the Marabozo candlestick. So now if you look at this closely, if you look at the candlestick here, this bullish candlestick, you will see that if I should just put my chart to normal like this, you cannot see the wick at the top and at the bottom. That is to tell you that this candlestick is the bullish Marabozo. We call it bullish because the color of that candlestick is green, and green candlestick on my chart signify bullish. So this is a bullish Marabozo. Not until when I zoom in, I'm able to see the wicks. You can see not until when I zoom in, I was able to see the wicks. But when I put my charts to normal, I shrink it to normal, it's showing me no wicks. So this shows that there are buyers in the market, and now I can join them to also buy. And whenever you are trading, you always put your stop loss in case that information we get is false. So let's say we get information that there are buyers in the market and that information was actually a false. So what is going to protect us is our stop loss. So we have to put our stop loss, not that we say because they've already taught us bullish engulfing and we were told that the market is going to buy. Not all the time. There are times that the market will not buy even when we have that candlestick. This is another bullish Marabozo candlestick. I hope you can see my screen very well. This is another bullish Marabozo. It will lead the market to the upside. We also have this, what happened, push the market to the upside. I'm going to show you as well if I see any point where we have the Marabozo and the market fails to go in that direction. So that is bullish Marabozo. Let's look for more examples still on this crypto pair. This is another one right there. Bullish Marabozo. This is still another one, bullish Marabozo. The purpose of this class is for identification, not to take trade yet. Identification, so that you can identify it on your charts. You can see, like the one I said, that we can have the wick at the top and the bottom is going to be shaven. This is still the Marabozo candlestick. Marabozo candlestick, and price just keeps going up. It's telling us that buyers are in the markets. Buyers are in the markets. Now, let's look at the bearish Marabozo. This is a bearish Marabozo. The market push down. This is also still the bearish Marabozo. We have a wicks at the top and no wicks at the bottom. The market still was push down. This is a bullish Marabozo right here. The market push up. So you can see how we have this candlestick playing out in the crypto markets. Let's also look at the forex market. Let's just pick any forex pair. This is GBP USD, the Great Britain pounds against the US dollar. So let's look at where the market is currently. So now where the market is currently now, we have a bullish Marabozo here. You can see a smaller wicks at the top and a very tiny one at the bottom. This is still the bullish Marabozo candlestick. And what happens, you can see how the market is pushing up. This is still another one right here, a bullish Marabozo candlestick, and the price keeps going up. So when we see the bullish Marabozo, we expect that the market should go up. This is another one, expecting the market to go up. Now look at this one here that we have here. That's why I said when I see anyone that doesn't really play out, I'm going to show you. I'm not here to only show you where the market works. I need to also show you where it fails to work. So if you look at this candlestick, this is still the bullish Marabozo. Then we expect that the market should just keep going up. But what happened? Sellers dominated and get this candlestick invalidated. It means that this candlestick was actually a false alarm. We got notification that buyers are in the market, but what we get is that this candlestick fails to place out. The market retraces down, and then what happened next? We still have that exact same candlestick. It fails here and now it's now worked here. That is to tell you that whenever you are taking a trade, always ensure to set your stop losses. You always ensure to set your stop losses so you don't lose more. You don't lose the whole of your account. You want to set a fraction. You had a loss here, and the next one happens to be what? A winning trade. A winning trade. Then you also have this. This is another one right here. Sorry, network. Okay, the network is back. So here, this is also the bullish Marabozo candlestick. For you to identify this candlestick, it will have no wicks at the top and the bottom. And if it is going to have a wicks, the wicks are very tiny. Sorry, the network. Let's go back. GBP USD. Okay, so the wicks are very tiny. That is how you identify them. So let's look at the bearish one too. Looking at the bearish Marabozo candlestick. Okay, this is one at the top. I saw the candlestick now. Just now. Okay. You can see it has a tiny wick at the top and at the bottom. This is the bearish Marabozo, telling us that there are sellers in the market, and what we want to do is also to jump in on a sell trade. When we get the information that there are sellers in the market, what we want to do is to join the sellers, and that way we are going to sell. And look at how the market just went all the way down. Why? Because of this information we get. We get information that sellers are in the market, and the market just went all the way down. That is the bearish Marabozo candlestick. This is another bearish Marabozo candlestick. You can see here the body size we have here cannot be compared to this, but it still tells us information that there are sellers in the markets. No matter the body size, it's still telling us something. This one has a bigger body size, tells us that sellers are in the market. This one has a smaller body size, still telling us that sellers are in the market. So you can have it in a big body size or a small body size. This still tells us the exact information in the market. So this is the forex market. Let's look at the index market. Let's look at the commodity market. This is the chart of US oil. I'm showing you different charts for you to know that you can apply these into all markets. You can apply it into all markets. If you look at the combination of these two candlesticks, the first one that is bearish is the bearish Marabozo, telling us that sellers are in the market. But what happened next? We have the bullish Marabozo, which shows us that there is a strong fight going on between the buyers and sellers right here. Then who eventually dominates? The buyers. After we have the bullish Marabozo, you can see how the market went all the way up. So still the same thing. They meant the same thing in all different markets. Crypto, forex, commodity, index, it means the same thing. Let's also look at the bearish Marabozo in the index markets. Bearish Marabozo. So this is the bearish Marabozo, a smaller one at that. You can see a smaller one, and the market still went down. So what we want to know, what we want to do is to be able to identify this candlestick on our charts and interpret what they mean. Let's look at one more chart. Okay, let's look at US 500. This is still also under, this is index markets now. We're checking like 4 markets. This is the index markets. S&P 500. S&P 500. Bullish Marabozo and bearish Marabozo. This is the bullish Marabozo. The market went all the way up. The market went all the way up. We also have it here too. The market pushes up. This is the bearish Marabozo. You can see, and that is where the market just come down. That is where the market come down. Bullish Marabozo, the market went up. Bearish Marabozo, the market went down. So this is how you identify this candlestick, by interpreting what they are telling us. This is another bearish Marabozo, another bearish Marabozo. So we need to know them, how they look like, and the information they are telling us. We want to know it, how they look like and the information they are telling us. So the same way that I've drawn it for us, make sure that you also do the same on your notebook, identifying them with different colors. So if what you only have with you there is just a blue pen, It's now time you get a red pen so that to differentiate between this candlestick, for you to differentiate between this candlestick. So that is just what we are going to be looking at today, and in next class we will look at some other candlestick as well. We'll be looking at them two at a time, but for today we are just going to look at the Marabozo candlestick. So from what I've said so far, do you have question?
No?
No question from Mr. Moses?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about Mr. Temitokwe? Any question from you, sir?
No question, no question.
No question. Sorry, are you a female? I don't know.
That's my voice.
Is your voice? Oh, okay. All right. So now what I want you to do now, you can mute your mic, sir. All right, thank you. So now what I want you to do now is that you should open your chart. If you don't have this software yet, just download it on your phone. Trading View, you will see the application. Just download it. You don't know how to use it yet, but it's going to bring out this chart for you. And what I want you to do is to identify this candlestick, identify 5 different bearish Marabozo and 5 different bullish Marabozo, then send it to our Telegram. Okay? Do you get the assignment?
Yes.
So you send it to our Telegram to check if you are, that's to tell us if you are able to identify this pattern.
Okay.
All right. So that will be all for today. We are going to meet next class, which is on Wednesday. All right.
I'm not what's it called? The Telegram group.
Come again, please.
I'm not on that Telegram group.
I'm sorry, I hardly hear you. You need to see Mike.
Oh, sorry, it's because of where I am.
Okay, so
I'm not on that Telegram group. Oh.
you are not on any Telegram group yet.
Yes, I'm not on it yet.
Okay, maybe it's because you just joined. That is why you are yet to be added. You'll be added there. But the Telegram I asked you to message is our normal Telegram. But you understand the assignment, right?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
All right. Don't
Okay,
worry, you'll be added to the group, okay? All right, that will be all for today. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you next class.